This time on Police 24/7.
What's happening?
In Swansea city centre, a homeless person causes concern for the constables on the street.
We can't leave you alone because you're vulnerable, Anne.
Oh, I'm vulnerable. Yeah, that's why you're smashed it.
The neighbourhood team are on playtime patrol in Mumbles.
You got it on backwards, son. You put it on the other way.
And investigating officer Dale Davies is on the case of a nasty assault.
This has happened in a nightclub in Swansea, which, as Tom Jones will tell you, it's not unusual.
This is a week in the life of the largest police force in Wales. 7 days of action with the cops on the street and the criminals that they try to beat. This is Police 24/7.
Technically, you're still in your 30s, aren't you?
Technically about it, I am still in my 30s. There's no technically, it's just you just put that word in. There's just no need for it. I am still in my 30s.
Closer to 40 than you are anything else.
Yeah, but I'm still in my 30s.
Swansea city centre, and neighbourhood police officers Kath Thomas and Kerry Roberts are out on patrol.
How long have you two worked together?
3 long years.
We've had our ups and downs.
Yeah, we share a common bond, don't we?
Yes.
Give me a fist bump.
Responsible for keeping the city centre safe. If there's trouble, they are often the first on the scene.
Got a male heading towards the corner of Eli Jenkins. I don't know if you can possibly catch up with him over words. This language was abysmal in my shop, man.
Abysmal?
He's running towards the corner of
I can see him.
Union Street and Oxford Street.
It's that guy, isn't it?
The man has been reported for being abusive to a shopkeeper.
Said a complaint.
I was in
Go on, then you
shop,
tell me your
I was
story.
in the shop, and I stuck up for myself. Sorry, that. He was telling me like, can you leave it? I said, you've got a problem, innit? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, if that's what you say, there's no problem with that.
Well, that's what he said.
Have you been in trouble with us before, Jeff?
I was in trouble 1998.
1998?
Yeah.
Long time ago then.
Yeah.
What's your date of birth, Flo?
71st, 74.
PC Thomas checks his details, and it appears the detained man hasn't been telling the truth.
Thank you. And when was the last time he was on leash, please? Been in trouble since 1998, haven't you?
Maybe so, yeah. But nothing major.
I know, but you have been in trouble since 1998.
And as more information comes over the radio, Officer Thomas discovers the man is actually wanted for something far more serious than verbal abuse.
Yeah, thank you. Can you pass me the occurrence numbers for those two, please? Right, you're wanted for 2 assaults.
2 assaults?
2 assaults. OK, so I'm going to arrest you for both of those now.
What are they? You tell me what they are.
You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention my question. Something you should later on in court. Listen to me now. Anything that you do say may be given in evidence.
Yo! Aye. Good.
Good man. Thanks, Kerr.
Geoffrey Pullen will now be taken into police custody, where he will be detained for further questioning regarding the assaults.
In there for me, Jeff. Speak to the sergeant.
Do you understand that he's been arrested?
Not really, no.
There's an allegation on the 10th of July that he assaulted somebody in the street.
That is total rubbish.
Okay, and on the 15th of July, there's an allegation of assault.
No, self-defence that was. He chucked a chair at me.
Jeff, wait now. We'll speak an interview, OK?
So what do you think's going to happen now?
Well, you've got to be interviewed, and from there we'll decide what's going to happen. We can't do any. I can't give you any advice before that or any decision before it, OK?
Thank you very much. Jeffrey, we'll see you later.
See you later.
All right,
I
babe.
got my money on me, man, you know.
Oh, the gent's going to search you now. He'll take everything off. You'll get it back when you leave the police station, OK? Best of luck.
Thanks.
Pullen had no further action taken against him for one of the assaults. However, he appeared before the magistrates' court for the other, where he pleaded guilty and was fined £160. Swansea Custody Unit is one of the busiest in South Wales.
3 guys attacked me, man. 3 guys attacked me.
serving a huge area from Gower to Neath. It's open 24/7. And with 28 cells to monitor, it's always a busy time for the custody officers.
Why are you venting all your frustrations to me and my staff?
Because your staff locked me up. This is where you're charging me.
Listen,
in Swansea. In Swansea.
Right,
I am calm. I am calm. I am calm.
Lower your voice
angry.
then. Lower your voice.
Sergeant Derwin Thomas has just clocked on for his 12-hour shift.
Some are quite jovial when they get arrested, others are quite vocal, and others are quite downright rude and violent and all the rest of it. So, but that's the nature of the job, isn't it? They're the bad guys, we're the good guys.
As Sergeant Thomas sorts out his detainee, his colleague Sergeant John Richards also has his first suspect of the shift.
Oh, good morning, sir.
Right, my friend. Can you just go through the search list presents for me, please?
Yeah, we called to Cropwell. Door staff had seen the gentleman and his friend go into a cubicle. He was searched. After search, a small bag of white powder was found in his pocket, and he's told us it's cocaine, so he's been arrested as possession of Class A.
Understand that?
Yes, sir.
I'm authorising your detention here in order for the officers to secure members of evidence in relation to that allegation. Have you been drinking?
Yes, sir.
I understand you're a soldier?
Yes, sir.
Where are you based?
Brecon, sir.
How long have you been in the army, Dylan?
3 years, sir.
Never been arrested before?
Second time, sir.
When was the first time?
I was arrested for assault, sir.
How long ago was that?
Couple months
ago.
Yes, sir.
You understand that we're going to have to tell your barrack commander?
Yes, sir. Is this necessary, sir?
Yes, the law, my friend.
Okay, sir.
Any military personnel, Navy, Marines,
yes, sir.
Army, Air Force, we got to notify their agencies.
Yes, sir.
All right. There we are. Take him down. Yeah, thank you. Cheers now.
Yeah, this way.
Yeah, this way.
I don't think they'll be very happy with him being in possession of cocaine. Not a serving soldier, anyway. No. This could affect his whole career. And you can see the attitude of the soldiers when they come in. They're all drilled, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, yes, sir. Hello, Sergeant Richards here from Swansea Police Station, South Wales. We've got Army personnel that's been arrested. He was arrested for possession of controlled drug cocaine. 10 years in this department, 20 years in the police. I do enjoy working in here, but the problem is you don't see people at their best. It blights our perception on the world, unfortunately.
Reserve Fusilier Dale Phillips was later released from police custody. He was given a caution for possession of a Class A drug. It will remain on his police record for life. This morning, they're off to visit a local nursery.
They get to take their fingerprints, which they can keep on a key ring. They love that, that's their favourite. And they get to play with handcuffs and shields and uniform.
I know when I was young, I was too afraid to even look a policeman in the eye. In fact, I'd cross the street, just in case they discovered, I hadn't tidied my bedroom or I'd been naughty or something silly like that.
Wow, you look amazing! I love it!
Come in!
What do police officers do then, boys and girls? Anybody know what police officers do? Go on, Brianna.
Catch bad guys.
Catch bad guys. What happens to the bad guys? Where do they go?
Jail.
They do. They go to jail.
We are using these ink strips to fingerprint the children, so they can have a little keepsake. But they love it and try and get as dirty as possible, but we're on hand.
Often when we deal with people, it's at a crisis point in their lives, so it's nice to deal with people who are, you know, innocent youngsters who are just genuinely happy and just pleased to see you.
Who would like to see the police car? Yeah!
Who wants to have a look? Do you want to get in? Who wants to get in?
You got it on backwards, son. Come here, put it on the other way. There we are. It's lovely to see the kids enjoying it, and like I was saying earlier, breaking down some of the barriers so we're not this mysterious figure to them, and they can come and interact with us and say hello.
Neighbourhood officers have to know their communities, whether they're on patrol in the countryside or the city. In Swansea, officers Kath Thomas and Kerry Roberts are back on their morning beat.
You know that we're going to tell you this is not a skate park, don't you?
Next time.
Sorry, boys.
Sorry. Another Saturday kid somewhere else.
Sorry. What do you know about skate?
Yeah.
He's a skater. And a very good one. Far better than you.
Looks can be deceiving.
Just because he's old.
For PC Thomas, this job is a family affair.
Well, my sister joined the police, and my father made me apply for practice of an interview, and then I got in. And that was it, really. And I didn't enjoy my first year, so I thought I'd leave. I think I was just really naive and I didn't have a clue. But then I came into town to work, and I loved it. Do you know, it's just busy and there's loads going on and you build up rapport with people. I don't know, it's just stuff's happening all the time, which is what you want, and otherwise your day drags. There's a couple of the boys there.
Working in the city centre means the officers often deal with vulnerable teenagers and the problems that their lives can bring.
She had me done for assault and robbery, right? And me? When I didn't do it. She assaulted and robbed me. She's wearing my clothes!
You've been with her all the time. You need to show her then.
This is the first time I've seen her.
The girl at the centre of this disagreement is Rebecca, who PC Thomas knows well.
What happened? Last time I spoke to you, you were both good friends. So we're going to come and get the clothes back tomorrow, are we?
There we are, sorted. In the meantime, though, stay away from her, yeah?
The row blows over, but Officer Thomas is still worried about Rebecca. She can't do much about her situation, but she can help her get a meal from a food bank at a local mosque.
What did you tell me to put on last time? You can't even remember because you were so off your head. More biscuits?
Yeah.
So no pasta, biscuits, sweets extra. Tell them what you can't cook back if you're having trouble cooking, OK? All right. Are you OK to walk through town? Do you want me to ask CCTV to watch you, to make sure you're safe?
Yes, thank you. Very much appreciated.
What is your kind of worry with her?
She's vulnerable and open to all sorts of exploitation because of her need and her addiction to any sort of drugs.
And I don't think Swansea's any different to any other city. I'd imagine that every city's got the same problem.
In the evening, Swansea's Wine Street is the popular place for party people. But not all nights out end up with just a hangover.
Terrible, man.
Police Constable Dale Davies is on the case of a city centre assault. He works in the Hub, the department responsible for investigating suspected criminals held in police custody.
This has happened in a nightclub in Swansea, which, as Tom Jones will tell you, it's not unusual, not on a weekend. There you go, and that is Courtney, who's victim number one.
The man they suspect has committed the assault is already in police custody. Now, Officer Davies has just 24 hours to investigate what has happened before a decision is made to charge or release him. The clock is ticking.
Well, this is going to be the victim, and I'm looking at him. You can see that the person he's assaulted is absolutely nothing to do with anything, and couldn't be misconstrued as being anything to do with anything. It's a completely nasty, unprovoked attack. So I'm going to try and get a statement off the third victim, and also while I'm there, I'm going to try and get some brief statements from the people who were friends of him.
Dealing with criminals, suspects and witnesses is part of the policing job. PC Davies joined the force 11 years ago.
I'd had loads of jobs, from being a motorbike shop owner, working in the local education authority, working for local prison. I think joining when I did was fantastic because I had enough life experience to marry my life and the police together, as opposed to let the police swamp my life, which is easy to do, I think, if you're a bit younger.
This morning, PC Davies is calling on the victim, who was the third person to be assaulted. He is also an eyewitness to the first punch thrown on the CCTV footage.
Morning.
Meanwhile, the suspect, Oliver Torkington, remains in police custody as the evidence in the case continues to be gathered.
It's nice to come out and take statements of people who are genuinely, nice people who are looking out for each other. And then you've got idiots like that who just shouldn't be there, shouldn't be in circulation. You do build a mental picture of people, of course you do. I'm human, it's as simple as that. I've got all these previous convictions, I've got all these previous histories. I've talked to all the people who dealt with him last night. I've talked to the police officers who arrested him. Sometimes I talk to police officers who've dealt with him in the past. So, but when you sit down, be prepared for anything, basically. And when you sit down and sit in front of him, you've just got a job to do, isn't it? Doesn't matter what I think of him or whatever. I'm here to find out the truth of what's going on. Unfortunately, I think I know what's going on, and I got CCTV. All good fun. Won't be long. I'm going to stay down here now until we get the laptop out. Don't need to show you CCTV.
Back on the streets are officers Thomas and Roberts.
There's no denying it. Quiet shifts are few and far between. Do you agree?
I think the violent crime on Wine Street has reduced.
Yes.
When we first started doing that, it was fighting all the time, wasn't it?
Yes, but I think people have now realised on Wine Street that the CCTV is very good, that things are chased up and not forgotten, and there's enough police there to police it properly,
It's not long into their shift when they get their first call.
Stated there's a white male aged approximately 50 years of age lying on the pavement outside the premises, possibly homeless male. Staff have managed to try to speak to him, but he doesn't appear to be responding.
A man who's believed to be homeless has been found unconscious on the pavement.
Andy, you all right? You stood up for everybody?
Is it
Dean? Are you drinking or are you taking something else?
And you'll have to get up, kiddo.
You stood up first, then?
What's happening?
What do you say? Have you taken something else?
I'm okay,
You can't leave you alone because you're vulnerable, and.
Oh, I'm vulnerable, mate. Yeah, that's why I get smashed in the head. You get punched. I can take it down. I don't give you...
Don't put your finger in my face.
Sorry, I don't give you... Don't give me...
No one's giving you...
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Andrew is just 42 years old and is well known to the officers as one of the city's regular homeless inhabitants.
Because of the state you're in, right, we're going to have to get the ambulance to check you out before we let you go, right?
We know Andrew. He's been around for a few years. His dad used to drink on the street with him, but he passed away recently. He was a bit of a character, his dad was. What was his father's name now? I've forgotten. Cookie, man.
Keith Cook. Archie.
Yeah, he was around for years as well. He's in a bit of a mess today. Don't have to see him this bad.
Homelessness is a problem in Swansea, like many big urban areas. The city has one of the highest percentages of its population sleeping rough in Wales.
Still not chatting, is it?
Who found me?
We did.
Oh, not you. It had to be you, didn't it? You. It was you found me. Where'd you find me back?
See? I'm always here to look after you, Andrew.
Yeah, where'd you find me back?
You were lying there with your coleslaw and chips.
The paramedics want Andrew to go to hospital for further checks, but he refuses, and the officers have no other choice than to let him return to the streets.
Come on up then and I'll show you where you are.
There's a lot of resources, isn't it? It's, you know, we've probably been here now for about 25 minutes.
I know
Yeah.
you all from here.
This is what we do.
Take it easy now, right? I'm going to pavement.
Back at Swansea Central Station, PC Dale Davies has gathered his evidence and is ready to interview the man detained for the nightclub assault, Oliver Torkington.
Hello. Aye, how are you, fella? What we got to do, get you up there, go through your rights again, make sure you're happy enough and that we're happy enough for you to go to an interview and then crack on with it. You all right with that? Let's go and have a word with the sergeant. He'll determine whether you're fit for an interview or not. Right, come up and have a word with the sergeant there then.
Are you all right?
Are you right?
Yeah, good.
Do you understand why you're in the police station? Do you remember last night much? You've been arrested on suspicion of assault, okay? But I think as the investigation's developed, there are a couple of other assaults which come to light.
3 assaults in all. 3 people got hit yesterday, so that's what we're investigating. That's why you're here.
So that's why you're detained in the police station, and obviously we need to question you regarding the allegation as well, okay?
Eyewitness statements taken, CCTV footage gathered. It's time for the suspected man to answer Officer Davis's questions.
You were here because you've been arrested on suspicion of assault ×3 that happened over the early hours this morning in Swansea. When it comes to assaulting these boys, it's a hard question, but do you deny it?
I'm not in a position to say. I don't believe I did, but...
Right. That's the more honest answer, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm not in a position to say, I don't remember.
No, I don't believe I did. And if I have, it would have been in self-defence because I'm not going to attack 2 random people for no reason.
Started off as a definite no comment interview. That didn't last. Saw CCTV. It kept wavering between no comment and can't remember. What he's saying is that, well, if I did do it, I must have felt under threat and that they were coming to me.
Hopefully you'll think next time before he goes out.
I think thinking before he goes out isn't his problem. It's when he's out he needs to do some thinking, but he's only drinking, so it's not working out for the boy, I don't think.
Later at court, Torkington pleaded guilty to all 3 assaults. He received a suspended sentence and was ordered to undertake a course in anger management. In Mumbles, PC Andy Phillips is getting to know his team and his patch. With PCSO Vicky Cassidy, he's off to visit a day centre for pensioners to give them a chance to have a cuppa with a copper.
Do they work in twos? Or?
It's a good opportunity for us to come down in and link in with them so that they have access to us, can ask us questions and report to us any problems.
I had a man knocking the other door, and when this was before I was in a chair, and I went to the door and he was collecting money.
Bit worried, bit suspicious.
I'd much rather come up and make sure everyone was all right than, you know, people taking money or all sorts, isn't it?
And they try all sorts. Vulnerable people especially, isn't it?
Especially so, yeah.
Well, anybody who comes to my house will have a very short shrift. I have a living in
I don't open the door to them.
Sees them
I can
off,
see
not
who's at the door.
Brilliant.
I've been with my wife for 12 years and married for about 4, 5.
Can I have a picture? I'm holding the police.
Yes, you can. Pictures being taken.
Well, they're great. They're really good for our morale.
They do treat you as people, you know, responsible. Most people haven't got time for old people these days. No, I really mean that, not being unkind. But there's a lot of non-caring people about.
Very nice to meet you all. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
I enjoy talking to the police anyway. Always been very friendly with the police. Not afraid to dial 999.
These are people who, if it weren't for this meeting, would spend pretty much all day, every day, sat in their houses with very little external contact. So it's about reaching those hard-to-reach groups and stopping them becoming victims of crime, because when something happens to us, we might be more resilient and able to weather it than someone who's in their 80s, 90s, lives alone, and so the impact of that crime can be a lot more for them than it might be on someone like ourselves.
Doesn't matter what you want, I'm afraid.
Don't pull my arms on the girl.
In the custody suite, the team have their hands full. Sometimes having a sense of humour helps the situation for Sergeants Thomas and Richards.
We laugh all the time. All the time.
Maybe like at each other, but...
Yeah. And we do a lot together.
Go mountaineering and we go cycling together and running together and stuff. It's like a bit of a bromance, really, isn't it? It's not, though.
This custody unit processes 7,500 people every year, and each suspect brings a different challenge.
She'd been out with friends and she decided to get so drunk that she thought it was all right to dance in the middle of the road at night time in black in the middle of the street. So she had enough chances, took her to the train station, tried to get her to go back where she's living, and it wasn't happening.
Up we go, we're going to go see the custody sergeant now. Need to walk down there, see the...
No, Baldy.
Don't follow it.
Baldy.
Don't fall over the set. Go on that way.
It's time for the dancing detainee to be booked in by Sergeant John Richards.
Yeah.
The officers told me, explained to me the circumstances to why you were arrested, right? And he's advised me that he feels it's necessary to arrest you because in your current condition, you're a danger to yourself.
Oh my God. That's where
No, that's not why you've been arrested. You've been arrested.
It is. Oh my God.
What are you in Swansea for?
Yeah, in Perth.
You've achieved that. Well done. So you can stay here tonight, sober up, and we'll let you out in the morning, OK? All right? Yeah?
Can I take it to the toilet?
Yes, please do.
Come on, then this way, look.
I'm going to pee myself.
Here we are.
Don't do that.
I love it.
You're not their best friend, but you're here to look after them. Yeah, so that's the way it is, unfortunately. It's a different type of stress in here. I think in here it can be really busy and a pressure cooker. But the good thing about working in here is once you walk out the door, that's it, it's finished.
And if you missed any of the episodes of this series of Police 24/7, they're available now on the BBC iPlayer. Next Friday, there's a profile of footballer Gareth Bale, Eurostar. That's at 8:30 here on BBC One Wales.